On this AVNation special, we sit down with 3 of SCN's The 9 for 2020, taking a look at the future of AV and where we are getting young people involved in the industry. All that and more next on this AVNation special.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
This is an AVNation special. SCN The 9 2020, Part 2. This is an AVNation special. My name is Tim Albright. I am your host. SCN every year, I guess since the last 5 or 6 years, they do a special edition called The 9. What it is the 9 most promising up-and-coming young AV professionals in the industry. Today, what we are doing is we are talking to those 9 in 3 different segments, because somebody smarter than me told me that 3 divided by 3 is 9. So, or 3 times 3 is 9. So you take 9, you split it into 3, and there you go. I talk to 3 at a time. So with me, 3 very special people. They are part of the 9 for 2020. First and foremost is Maura Quinn from Tier PM. Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you for having me. This is an honor.
Absolutely. Thank you and congratulations. Also with us is Jarrod Hillman. Jarrod is from Hillman Audio Video. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Tim.
And last but not least, a buddy that I've known for a couple of years, Tammuz Dubnov. Tammuz is from Zuzor. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Happy to be here.
Thanks, man. Thanks. We'll talk about each of their companies and what they do in the industry in a second. Maura, I want to start with you on this. As somebody who is young in the industry, but you've been in it for a while now, how did you get to where you are in the AV industry?
That's a great question. So when I first started at Tier PM, I started completely on the IT side. In school, so my passion is marketing and communications. And then also I have, this secret little hope to be the next Beyonce. So I'm really into event tech and stage design and all of that cool, fun stuff. But so I started out at Tier PM, which is the AVIT workforce solutions company for the AV industry, as an IT data analyst. And I was just working away on spreadsheets and doing a lot of data heavy reports for clients. And then I started getting more familiar with their audiovisual side of house and starting to bring my marketing skills into the AV side. So that's how I first got my start into AV and really learning about it as an industry and professional wise. And then flash forward 2 years after that, or 3 years. Now I'm the head of marketing and sales for our company to help source talent for the audiovisual industry. So it's been an interesting journey, but I've stuck with it. And every time I get more and more in depth in the AV industry, I just get happier and happier because it's so unique.
It is, absolutely. And especially since you want to be the next Beyonce, that definitely helps. So
For sure.
Jarrod, not to be silly, but you're the head of Hillman AV. So, either you started it yourself or inherited one of the two, but how did you get where you are now?
So a story I've had to share a few times is, like everyone else, I fell in. I was actually in the military. I'm 34, and when I was about 21, 22, I was in the military. And when I left, I got a job at another integration company in the rental side, though. And that was really how I was introduced to AV in general. I had no idea about it at all. And so I started there. I went from rentals to integration, and just having a hands-on construction background, I was good on the install side. I also like things staying where I put them. So rentals was not good for me. And a couple of years of that. And then I basically left to go into a totally different industry, actually, into not maybe totally different, but fire and life safety. And by chance, a position offer I had there fell through. I had nothing else in the wheelhouse, so I kind of went back to my roots of I really enjoyed AV integration. And so from there, I started contacting clients to offer strictly labor and excelled at the labor side. And just as time went on, we're in our 9th year now, and so that was that was 2011. And from there, I went over the last 9 years. We've done work throughout North America. We're a staff of 12. We do full in-house design, programming, and project management now. So it's been an adventure, and all just because I fell into AV and never fell out, I suppose.
Well, yeah, that is the term fell into AV is a common theme throughout the industry. Absolutely. Tammuz, you are on the manufacturing and software side. Let's kind of put it that way. If you've never seen Zuzor, it's a unique product. It helps people grab attention, I guess is the best way to put it. It's a graphical experience. And I'll let you explain, first of all, what it is that you guys do, and then how you ended up where you are.
Sure. Team already got it, so it's not much work for me to explain, but yeah, grabs people attention. It's about interactive graphics. We call it experiential media. So it's about augmenting what we call static media, let's say videos, pictures, logos, and incorporating it into an experience where as somebody moves, their movement is actually extenuated on the content, really creating interactivity, whether it's turning a floor interactive, an LED wall interactive. We're all about making that part of the puzzle very easy and making that content creation piece also very easy. So no custom programming needed. It's down to graphic design level that anybody can do. And a lot of graphic design work or content that a team already has, they can actually reuse pretty quickly and easily. So a little bit about how I got here, I guess. A little different story. My background is artistic as well. I'm a professional dancer and a circus aerialist, but my technical background is in theoretical mathematics and computer science. I finished my undergrad at UC Berkeley in theoretical mathematics, finished with honors a little early. I graduated when I was 18 years old. Recently finished my master's in artificial intelligence. And initially, I built the technology for my own work as a performer. I wanted to use my technical skills to augment my performance on stage, really activate the screen or the projection behind it, make it a part of my performance. And what started as, let's say, an artistic pursuit kind of snowballed into Zuzor. And now in an effort to bring it to too many different industries that came after us, whether it be nightclubs that were asking for it, to events, to some stuff at hotels, we realized that's not really a good way to do it, not particularly scalable. And realized that the common factor in all of this is audiovisual. And thus we fell into the audiovisual industry and really targeted our technology as a tool for audiovisual professionals, anybody who's working with, let's say, LED walls or any sort of design specs for a range of venues, a range of environments. Now we give them the tool to add interactivity easily, quickly, and yeah, adding more and more tools on top of it. So more to come.
Yeah, absolutely. Jarrod, when it comes to where we are here in the industry right now, right? Take a look, and I said this in one of the other interviews. I am markedly older than the 9 group. I am not considerably older, but I am absolutely older. So I am not in the generation. I am a Gen Xer, square in the middle. I love doing these interviews because it gives me the opportunity to see through somebody else's eyes and a different generation's eyes. When you see the industry now, Jarrod, what is it that you see that you absolutely love, but what is it about the industry that you might want to adjust or change?
Yeah, sometimes people might look at falling into AV. It does cause us a bit of headache and a bit of struggle, because on the training side, usually you're always training from green. People are brand new to the industry. They've never heard of it. They didn't go to school for any of it. And so there is a downfall to it. But the one thing I actually really love about it is that what I find is, and it rings true in our company, and I think it rings true in a lot of other people's. What I love about it is that people that fall into the AV industry, the advantage that they have, and the advantage we have as an industry, is that those people probably had, this could sound maybe worse, but those people probably had no path or direction at the time. And so what I found is like, we're in a great opportunity to develop and give direction and give purpose and create something really awesome for people that might have otherwise not had it. There's a lot of industries where people fall into them and they're really never satisfied or happy because of the lack of direction or purpose or passion. And I don't find that with AV. And so I think that's the one thing I love about it the most. And that's what we like. Tons of times, if you talk to me enough, you'll hear me say, we just happen to do AV all the time. I say that all the time because within our company, our goal is to just build something that we all enjoy and that we can have a good living at. We just happen to do AV, and so that's kind of how I look at it. And then the second part of your question, what would I change? I don't know what I would change as much as I could just address a challenge. And one of the challenges is that the biggest challenge with AV as an industry is it's so massive, and I think smaller integration companies and companies suffer from not really knowing where to focus because we can touch on so many things. You look at the difference between the interview, and each one of us do something totally different than the other.
Yeah.
And that just makes it really difficult. So if I could do, I think, anything or change anything, I would try to look to see how I could silo things better and make a little bit more specialization in each field, which we do on the integration side. But yeah.
Absolutely. Tammuz, Jarrod mentioned something here about the whole we fell into AV, and you said the same thing. How do we take the industry that we have now, and whether it's what Maura does or Jarrod or you, and make it to where people fall into the industry anymore, but they're recruited into the industry, right? They're sought after, and then on the other side of that, they seek after the industry, right?
Yeah. Any other parts of the question, or should I go ahead and answer?
No, that's it. Yeah. So how do we convert the industry into something that you don't fall into, but that people actively seek after?
Sure. So there's a few parts to this answer. I know for us in the work we do, we generally attract the younger crowd in terms of people reaching out for job interviews or internships or anything of the like. Just because we've done installs at anything from kind of a music festival to a museum. So we kind of touch a broad audience. In general, I think audiovisual industry, like the Pro AV, is an enabling industry for lots of other industries. And in that way, it's always playing a little bit of catch up. Like this industry knows that, oh, now we want this sort of thing. And then they go into the audiovisual world, and the audiovisual industry has to either have it in their pocket or catch up to understand what it is that vertical needs and wants. And that demand comes from that industry's audience and their target, and often that's kind of a new and changing audience. So the more we can get that audience, which would be, let's say, millennials or Gen Z, inside the audiovisual industry, the more we can sort of have foresight from inside, where our own team members know what it is that's to come because it's what they're looking for. And just because of the demographic of the industry right now, it's a little heavier on the older side than the younger side. But we're working with the different initiatives, like the Avixa Foundation is doing a great job in trying to reach out to colleges and high schools and just let people know that, hey, this is a career option, because the fact that everybody falls into it is because nobody really knows that it's there. You never talk to an 8-year-old saying, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? And they're going to say, oh, either an astronaut or an audiovisual professional. And just people don't know about it. But it's such a cool, such a creative, such a rewarding career. We really get to make kind of amazing stuff and amazing environments and amazing experiences. So I think that's a lot of where our energy needs to be, in raising awareness on the younger side, let's say college, IT, even high school, letting people know that this is an option, and then also showing them some of the cooler parts, right? So you can set up an LED wall at a corporate office, or you can set it up in a music festival. It's the same work, but in the kids' eyes, it looks very different.
Absolutely. Maura, I mean, we have folks from IT, from music backgrounds, from computer sciences, from lighting, from live staging and events, people that used to be in bands in this industry. You came from the IT side, right? Tammuz and AI. How do we wrap all those things together? And Jarrod's right; it is a vast industry. So how do we market that? How do we talk to people at job fairs, right? Or to Tammuz's point, at the high school level, as these young people are getting ready to decide what they want to study.
Yeah, so I think to your point, with all these different angles that you can come into the AV industry and all the different aspects that you could be interested in, it shows, that it becomes more a personal thing of why people are entering it, right? Even though you fall into it, it ends up being something that kind of resonates with you. So to bring in younger kids, I think really just getting the knowledge out there and, the awareness that this is actually an industry and actually a job that people can do. And then I think just showing how it's so relevant around them because, the AV industry and just AV tech and tools and all of that is relevant in every single industry and in most aspects of life, whether it's personal or professional. So to show them how much it surrounds them and how much they can get involved, whether it's working for it or promoting it or something involved within the AV industry. I think that's how you could definitely spark interest.
Good. Jarrod, I said this to you guys. I'm sorry, Tammuz. I said this to you guys at the offset, probably before we started recording. But imagine that you're retiring. You're at your retirement party, and it's probably a little different if it's your company. But in general, if you've moved on to something else by the time you do retire, and you're looking back on the industry, and you've had a hand in making it something different. What would it be? What would you have changed? What looking back, what do you see as the industry when you retire?
Yeah, in my retirement, I guess the biggest change I would hope to see in the industry is it's a little siloed right now between at least the industries we face. We face the agency experiential design world, and we face the audiovisual kind of technology design world. And often there's a gap in communication there, which I think just the gap is limiting both sides. In my mind, more and more of those are going to kind of converge. And ideally, one day it'll become kind of one. But that would be the major shift I'd be looking for by the time I retire, that the industry as a whole has that mentality, is aware that this is amazing specs, amazing technology, but it's about how it gets used. And within that, how it gets used, it's about how it gets designed into the space. And within it's how it gets designed into the space, it's about how it gets designed into the experience. So really that focus on the end results and experience and trickle it backwards to that technology enabling is what I'd look for. An industry that is both specs and experience all in one.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. Maura, same question to you. You are retiring at whatever age you'd like to. What do you see looking backwards at the industry, and what has changed, and what have you had a hand in changing?
And what have I had a hand in changing? Ooh,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say no wires because I hate wires. So that's just one basic. But retiring, and I don't think I personally would have a hand in this, but I think it would be really, really cool. And I think we're already on the way doing this, if not already implemented. But different audio systems and video systems to be so integrated into a room that you don't see them. Right? You just walk into a room and it knows how to turn them on and set it, or the settings are all right. You know what I mean? Like a whole wall could have sound emitting from it, but you don't see any of the speaker. I think that'd be really cool. And then, when I retire, my main goal just being in this industry is really, creating a voice for women and really supporting women in the industry and making that an even stronger workforce and part of it. And also just, connecting companies with the right talent and acknowledging specific skill sets that, are so transformable to different types of roles and different responsibilities, so that someone isn't just used for just this one task. People can be used across the board in multiple different ways, and really, use their entire tool set versus just one specific thing.
All right, very good. I like that. Jarrod, whether you sell or you doing a succession plan or however it is that you're going to retire, look back on that, and what have you changed in the industry?
I think I'll speak to my geography. Being based here, kind of in the prairies of Canada, I know we're a little bit different than some of the larger centers in the U.S. and even a little bit in Canada. We often refer to the audiovisual industry as the Wild West here, because it's just so unregulated and unformatted and unsupervised. I think one of the things we really focus on here is standards. And so I think when I look back at whatever my time is completed in the industry, I'd be really happy to see the implementation of industry standards. And I'm a big believer in apprenticeship, and on the integration side, I'm very specific that way. But as far as field technicians and integrators, I think there is room for an apprenticeship model where you have journeyman audiovisual installers. And I'd really like to be part of that and push that forward. And it is something I'm slowly and smallly working on. But I think I'd be really happy to see that. I think that would bring a lot to the industry. And I think that would also reinforce making it known as a career choice for people. When it comes to the physical side, I know that there is a huge opportunity on the experiential and digital and the design side. But at the end of the day, to us, someone still has to put all that stuff up and in. So I'd like to see that standardized.
Yeah, and you were not the first person I've ever heard say that exact thing. Is treat it more like carpenters or electricians, right? And if you're not familiar with those two trades, that's exactly what happens. Is you join a firm and you spend the first 3 to 5 years as a journeyman, a journeywoman. So.
And I'm going to do a shameless plug here, Tim, but I think, as you know, like we actually just were awarded an Excellence in Business Award by the NSCA for our training program, which is a 4-year training program that we put together internally. So that's really where we're trying to go. So
very cool. No, I like that. All right, gang. That's not shameless. You guys are award winners as it is. So thank you all so much. Miss Maura Quinn from Tier PM. Thank you. If somebody wants to get a hold of you or Tier PM, how do they do that?
Sure, thanks. So my personal Twitter is @Mars AVIT, and my email is mquinn with 2 N's @tierpm.com. And if you'd like to find out more about Tier PM, you can find us at www.tierpm.com. And that is also all of our social handles @Tier PM.
At Tier PM, there you go. All right. Jarrod, thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And how do people get a hold of you or Hillman AV if they want?
So same thing. My personal Twitter handle is @AVpreneur, as in entrepreneur, but AVpreneur.
Okay.
And you'll find us at www.hillmanav.com or @HillmanAV on Instagram.
All right. Very good. Tammuz, same question, but how do we get a hold of you or Zuzor?
Sure. Easiest way is go on our site. It's zuzor.co. There's no M, just .co. We're techie like that, hopefully. Contact us there. You can email me. It's just Tammuz at our URL, zuzor.co. And in my ideal world, you'll never need to contact us. You'll be able to just go and download the software and do everything yourself. It should be that easy. But we're here to help if you need us.
Yeah, you need to go check that out. If you haven't seen it in person, it is quite remarkable. So. For us, for AVNation, go by the website. AVNation, absolutely, dude. It really is. It's remarkable. Don't follow me on the Twitters. It's not very exciting, especially during now. Go by the website, AVNation.tv. AVNation.tv, you'll find programs like this and a host of others, including our 2 weeklies. One looks at the commercial side of AV called AV Week. That's the one that I do. The other one is the Resi Week that looks at the residential side. That's Matt Scott. So all that and more at AVNation.tv. AVNation.tv.